Evening everybody, Silverbolt here, back for a Transformers review. Going to be doing, as per numerous requests, Predaking. Okay, now Predaking is obviously the combined form of the Predacons. And the Predacons are a gesalt combiner team, well, obviously. And they are made up of 5, as are all combiners aside from Devastator. Okay, we'll start up here with the Eagle Dive Bomb. Dive Bomb's a bit of a loner. Well, he's not a bit of a loner, he is a loner. And he doesn't like people, and he doesn't like being around people. He doesn't like being around the Predacons, and will only combine with them when he absolutely has to. He much prefers just to attack from the air, where there's no other people around. Okay. Here, we have Rampage, the Tiger. Now, Rampage is, I suppose you could say Rampage is the Freddy Krueger of the Predacons, in that he is just a veritable psychopath. He has no regard for anything, he just wants to butcher things. In fact, the only way to calm Rampage down is to put him in front of mind-numbing TV. So, well, he's pretty much damn useless in the some months, because all you got to do is put him in front of Big Brother, or the X Factor, because that's mind-destroying. Okay, down here we have Tantrum, the bull, though his horns are more, I think, similar to a buffalo's than a bull's, but there we go, unless it's a bull buffalo, before someone makes that comparison on me. And if Rampage is the Freddy Krueger, then Tantrum is the Jason Voorhees of the Predacons, in that he is this violent, but oh so predictable machine that just, not exactly insane in any sense of regards, he's just very violent. He has severe anger management issues, and he just wants to blow the crap out of stuff, or in actual more regards, just run through it. The other leg here is the Rhino, Headstrong. Forgot his name for a second. Headstrong. Headstrong is just brutally stubborn, to the point where it's actually, I'd say it's more of a mental illness how stubborn he is. He's the weakest of the Predacons, and I think that's one of the reasons for his stubbornness, in the fact that he doesn't take advice from anybody. Probably because he views it as the fact that because everyone knows that he's the weakest, or everyone perceives him to be the weakest, or he thinks that everyone perceives him to be the weakest, he thinks they're talking down to him. So he doesn't take advice, and as such, once he's decided on a course of action, you cannot change his mind at all. The leader of this very dysfunctional group of Transformers is Razorclaw, and unlike the others, Razorclaw has a hunter's patience. He will not charge in regardless. He will not go on a psycho killing spree just because he feels like it. He will wait until he has the perfect opportunity, and then he will attack. Together, the 5 Predacons form Predaking. Is this video something like Captain the Bloody Obvious or something? Anyway, Predaking, now with the gesalt combiners, they have a problem often in the fact that because they are 5 personalities within, in essence, one body, they often have clashes when it comes to doing things. It's very apparent in Menasor with the other Stunticons, especially how the other Stunticons feel about Motormaster, because they absolutely hate him. It's very obvious again in Superion, because Superion obviously has things like Silverbolt's fear of heights and Slingshot's ego to contend with. Predaking, with such a dysfunctional group dynamic that the Predacons have, with all their severe personality disorders that they have, you'd think Predaking would be nigh on useless because he'd never be able to make up his mind. On the contrary, their personality problems work for them as Predaking, in that he is this brilliant warrior and he's completely unfettered by all these other thoughts flapping around in his head, because the Predacons when they combine are all very single-minded. It's all about that hunt. It's all about the animalistic, instinctual behaviour that makes Predaking so dangerous. And he is the most dangerous of all the combiners, and he's the largest of all the combiners in both toy-wise and cartoon-wise. Predaking first shows up in the hang on, I'll just pop this on something so I can keep it up on there. Predaking first shows up in 2005 in the episodes More Than Meets the Eye set in 2005. He first shows up in 1996. in Series 3. And the Quintessons send him after Wheelie and Blur and Marissa Fairborn in order to grab the transforming cog to Metroplex. The Predacons are beaten there by Skylinks, and Skylinks and Predaking then start on a rivalry which will see them throughout the rest of Series 3. The Predakings have two other really notable episodes, aside from one where Cup goes after the Chaos creature on some planet. And those two other episodes are the Call of the Primitives, where they are part of the Animal Transformer group that goes after what's his name, Tornadron, which is where in that episode, of course, you learn the origins of Unicron, though that's very wildly discounted now. The people prefer the creation of Unicron as it is told in the comic stories, not as it's told in the cartoon. And the other one, of course, is the one where, in an episode that's very resplendent of a Defenders of the Earth cartoon episode, where Daniel is captured by the Quintessons, and they then use Daniel's nightmares to try and destroy the Transformers, and the Predacons get sucked up into this and are forced to merge with the Autobots and ally themselves with the Autobots, to the point where Razorclaw and Springer become kind of like this noble knight and his valiant steed kind of job. Very strange, very strange. The Predacons rapidly assert themselves in the cartoons as the most popular of all the combiners, indeed some of the most popular characters within the Transformers universe. This flows on into the comics, both the Marvel, the Devil's Due, the Dreamwave, the IDW, in that they appear in virtually all of them as extremely popular characters. Quite a lot of backstories and stories concerning them, which I don't intend to go into at all. They first show up in the Marvel comics, and they have two different intro sequences in that. In the US comics, they are they're a group of Cybertronians. In the UK comics, I believe, they're actually sent after Prime. They're reformatted on Earth by Megatron into animals to be sent after Prime. In the, I believe it's the Devil's Due. Sorry, no, I'll carry on with the story of the Predacons in Marvel first. In the Marvel comics, the Predacons fall under the command of Ratbat and are tricked by Starscream into going after Scorponok, who proceeds to give them a pretty good trouncing. Though the Predacons are in very much fighting basically for Ratbat and his team, they do ally with the Autobots when Starscream gets control of the underbase, and which I really must do a review of at some point, where Starscream and the underbase is concerned, because it's such a massive storyline. And they go and defend Tokyo City, and they're one of the many, many, many Transformers that end up getting deactivated by the Starscream powered underbase, the underbase powered Starscream. Sorry. And that's it for their Generation 1 timelines through the Marvel, though they do get a very brief revival in the Marvel series for Generation 2. Okay, now Dreamwave carried their storyline on at some point and made them into Lords of Cybertron. They are actually Lords of Cybertron. Another storyline to the Predacons that I don't think it was actually in the G1. I don't think it was actually in the Dreamwave productions. But the other storyline for the Predacons is that they end up on a planet as Cybertronians, but they end up going native. They become feral, which is what makes them into the animalistic hunters that they become, despite the fact that a bull and a rhino are both vegetarians, but never mind. IDW they are in the Devil's Due publishings through the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, and then they really come back into it in the IDW series, because of course Dreamwave never got to finish off the Predacons storyline because of course they went bust. And they come back into it though in the IDW series, and in the IDW series they really just pretty much debut in the graphic comic Stormbringer, where when the Autobots and Decepticons go up against the reanimated Thunderwing, the Predacons are in orbit and they've been given orders to destroy Cybertron if it looks like Thunderwing is winning. Razorclaw watches the battle unfold between the Wreckers and Thunderwing, and he actually sends some Decepticons down to help because he's actually quite impressed by their valiance. Is valiance a word? I don't know. Bravery. There we go. I know that one's a word. Yes, it is. Again, they also are in the Megatron origin. So, in chronological order, the Megatron origin comics is the first stories of the Predacons, where they are part of the gladiatorial arena. Though I don't know too much where that's concerned because I've yet to actually read the Megatron origins. Hint to go on eBay for. Okay, the Predacons are very much a G1 continuity style Transformer. They don't come into any of the series, though I suppose you could say that Scorponok from Cybertron, not Scorponok, Scourge from Cybertron bears a somewhat resemblance to them in his size and in his strength and in his power, and also in his attitude from the Jungle Planet. So subsequently, they only have the one toy. Well, there's two versions of the toy. There's the all-plastic version, which I have, and then you've got a version with die-cast metal in it. Okay, now the Predacons, as you can see, are the largest of the Transformer combiners, right? I'll show you now. I've got a couple to combine with. So, first off, we'll show you with the awesome, inspiring, utter destruction behemoth that is Menasor. There you go. That's really quite pathetic. You know, little weedy Menasor, Predaking. Little weedy Menasor, Predaking. So yeah, but we all know my views on Menasor anyway. Put him down somewhere where he's not going to fall over. Don't you dare fall down the back of my bloody cabinet, because I'll never get him back again. Here we go with the other, which is the largest and most all-round of my combiners, which would be Computron. And he's got a bit more. He's got a bit more to him. Computron does, where Predaking is concerned. But again, he is dwarfed by this monstrosity of a toy. And one of the things for Predaking's size difference that I came across, and I can't remember for the life of me where I read it, because it wasn't on Wikipedia, but I came across something that said that the Predacons were not originally designed for the Transformers toy line, like the old Diaclones were designed for the Microman series. Some of the Diaclones were designed for the Microman series. The Predacons weren't designed to be Transformers, they just happened to become Transformers, which is why there's such a huge accountable difference to them. And there really is. And even individually, if I can, I'll just show you with Tantrum now, if I can get him out of his leg, because he's very stiff. Oh, there we go, he's the easy one to get out. Take off the foot part. Where's his head? Oh, that's his head, yeah. Just get his arms out here. There you go. So it's very different looking to other Transformer toys. As I said, because from what I read somewhere else, though I can't for the life of me remember what it was, I really wish I could, the Predacons weren't designed to be Transformers toy ranges. So they do have a suitably different looking style to them than the Transformers. Not the least the garish colour scheme. And individually, it has to be said, the Predacons really aren't much. Individually, the five of them really aren't much, with the possible exception of maybe Dive Bomb. The other Predacons, on their individual format, really don't amount to much. They look weird and they look wrong in some regards. Okay? However, that pales, and that's really insignificant, next to Predaking himself. You watch now, I'm not going to be able to actually get him back into place, but never mind. When the fact that Predaking is just this all-round monster. Now, I have him displayed with my other Generation 1 Transformers, and he is a monster! Standing next to them, as you saw with Computron and Menasor, he dwarfs them! It's fantastic! And he really is shown in both the comics and the cartoons and the character bios as this huge, unstoppable thing despite getting beaten with painstaking regularity in the cartoons, as this hulking destroyer of everything, this monstrous behemoth. I mean, he's even on a good size par with Fort Max compared to the other combiners. And it's not just his height that does it, it's how broad he is and how blocky he is and how powerful he is. And most combiners, they're bricks when it comes to movability. I mean, you see me going throughout the whole of the review. You can twist his wrists the way he does it, and also, you know, you can spread his arm like that, and you can turn the wrists, and it's all down to the way the Predacons transform. A lot of them are turning a turn at the waist, flipping over, and which is why I keep the legs extended slightly, because it just adds to that overall feral ferocity of Predaking. He really is an awesome toy if you can get past the very garish bright orange colour scheme. If you can get past that, he really is a fantastic toy, and as befitting such. And because of his popularity, he is one of the most expensive. He really is very expensive. And everyone by now, and despite the fact that it is a major bragging point, I don't want to brag too. I've just pulled out a bloody hedgehog. I don't want to brag too much concerning it. But he is an expensive toy. I mean, the reissue, the Japanese reissue, the metal version, will set you back a good 150 quid. Definitely over a ton you'll pay for Predaking. Definitely over a ton you'll pay for Predaking. Even the plastic one. I've never actually seen the metal version of Predaking, but seeing as the plastic one is still very nice. Aside from this thing in the middle, on Razor Claw, he's got this pushy in thing in the middle, just where his groin is, and I will confess, I have no idea what it's for. But anyway, yes, he is like Fort Max. Predaking is an investment, but he is an absolutely fantastic toy. An absolutely fantastic toy. Okay, that's Predaking done for now. I imagine this video's run to at least 15 minutes, seeing as it is actually the third take. But yes, I shall log off for now with Predaking. I shall be back at some point. I'm getting into one of my transformery moods. I've been having them the last couple of weeks. Though I've actually, shock horror, I've actually managed to start painting up some Space Marines for 40k. Fantastic! And of course the new High Elf stuff. I have a lot of High Elf models from when I first started playing Warhammer. Oh my god. The new High Elf stuff is beautiful. The model's fantastic. Really going to be getting some of them, especially that dragon. But anyway, that's not Transformers. Heretic! I meant me, by the way. But yes, Predaking are fantastic. Utterly dwarfs anything else in the G1 collection, aside from Fort Max and Scorponok and Triptychon. I really should have put Metroplex down. Should have brought Metroplex down, because I do believe, looking at it from where I am now, he is taller than Metroplex. But yes, anyway, that's Predaking done. Fault-wise, as I said, the only faults I really have with him is the individual Predacons, in that they can look a little weird. They don't look, I suppose you could say, proper, but that's just me. It's not really something I can put my finger on with them. But yes, other than that, love the toy. Love the toy. Fantastic toy. But yes, this is Silverbolt with Predaking signing off, saying au revoir, adios, auf Wiedersehen. And stop.